My beloved one, I've been standing beside you quietly, waiting for over 2 hours now, hoping you'd hear me, hoping you'd feel that tug on your heart, hoping you'd notice how the wind paused, how your phone screen flickered for a moment, how that uneasiness rose inside you because I, Archangel Michael, have been trying to reach you. This is not a random message. This is not a coincidence. This is an emergency. A private investigator was caught just hours ago, and this is not about someone else. This is about you. Your name, your life, your steps, your future. You are involved directly, and heaven has been trying to shield you even before you knew danger was hovering. The investigator wasn't working alone. Someone you know, someone who doesn't even deserve to say your name, paid this person to follow you, watch you, document your actions, and send detailed reports. But something happened that no one expected. He got caught, and what he revealed has shocked even the people in high places. And now, child, you must hear this. You have to. He wasn't hired to just gather information. He was hired to stop your divine timeline. Yes, my child, listen carefully. There's a divine timeline over your life. Heaven has prepared blessings for you, relationships, financial freedom, healing, and even a surprising connection that was going to enter your life next month. But someone sensed that your energy was shifting. Someone knew your strength was increasing. Someone noticed you were breaking free from patterns you were never meant to live in. And that's when they decided to try and block your divine reward. But heaven interfered. He got caught, and the person who hired him has no idea what's coming next because God has now stepped into your timeline directly. That's why I, Archangel Michael, had to wait for you. That's why I'm not going to leave until you receive this fully. My child, everything is connected. Your recent dreams, that sudden call from someone unexpected, the repeating numbers you've seen, the moment your mirror cracked. These were all signs that you are being watched but also protected. Let me ask you something honestly. Have you felt like someone was observing you lately? Have you looked around in a crowd and felt like eyes were following you? Have you heard your name being whispered when no one was around? It wasn't your imagination. Now hear this part carefully, as this is where your choice matters, because after this message, you will be tested. You'll be offered something that looks familiar, a relationship, a job, an old pattern, but it's a trap. It's wrapped in comfort but soaked in manipulation. The same person who paid to invade your life will attempt to re-enter, pretending to be changed, pretending to love, pretending to care. They will cry, they will act, they will even use the exact words you've been longing to hear, but heaven says, don't open that door. Don't answer that message. Don't look back. Your destiny is ahead, not behind. Subscribe now if you're receiving this in divine timing, because God is selecting souls with open hearts, and you're one of them. This is not just a message. This is your divine confirmation. Heaven sees your heart, angels see your pain, and this message was written in your name before you even opened your eyes today. Let me continue what that investigator said after getting caught. It exposed something terrifying. He mentioned a document, a forged paper with your details, signed, stamped, altered, used to delay something meant to benefit you financially that could have changed everything. But heaven didn't allow it to go through because God intercepted that file, and just last night, someone in a government office found a mistake in that document, and that mistake led to the arrest. Coincidence? No, a divine reversal. So listen, when you see this, don't scroll past. Don't say, "I'll watch it later," because this message is happening in real time, and everything, your health, your peace, your next decision, depends on what you choose after reading this. From today, you'll notice someone tries to contact you 3 times. Don't respond to the second one. A bird will visit your window tomorrow morning. That's your angel's signal. You'll hear the words, "Watch closely," either in real life or media. That's me reminding you not to trust everything you see. I know you're tired of always being the one who feels too much, forgives too easily, hopes too long. But child, do you know why you feel deeply? Because your heart is pure enough to carry divine messages. That's why you're under attack. That's why people try to dim your light. But guess what? No weapon formed against you will prosper. Not in this season, not in the next, not ever again. You are not just protected, you're chosen. And that person who hired the investigator, their plan is about to collapse publicly. They'll try to hide, but the truth will come out. Your name will be cleared, and a financial miracle will begin as compensation for what you went through silently. So from now on, speak less and observe more. Silence is your sword. Wisdom is your shield. Heaven is watching, and they are proud of you. And I, Archangel Michael, will be with you tonight. In fact, tonight at exactly 2:11 a.m., you may feel a chill. Don't be afraid, that's me brushing past you. I'll be watching over your window, your door, your soul. You will not fall. You will not fail. You will rise, because the very people who tried to investigate you will soon be investigated by higher powers, divine and earthly. Now listen closely. In 3 days, you'll receive an unexpected message, a real one. It could be a call, a mail, or someone standing at your door. Don't panic, don't fear, don't say too much. Just listen carefully, because that message will begin the next phase of your life, and it will lead to the one who is meant for you. Yes, romantically too. That person is being aligned with you as we speak. This message, this exact moment, is your turning point. If you close this and walk away like it's nothing, you'll delay your blessing. But if you hold on, pray tonight, and ask for confirmation, you will wake up tomorrow changed forever. God sent me to tell you this because He has plans for you, and no spy, no secret enemy, no fake friend can stop that anymore. If you are still here, comment, I receive this with faith and subscribe. This is the start of a miracle. I, Archangel Michael, will now place divine armor around your heart. Nothing will touch you unless it is sent by God. No one will reach you unless their hands are clean. No door will open unless it leads to truth. You've waited long enough. Now it's your time. Your name will be whispered in rooms of blessing, and the people who tried to ruin you will have to watch you rise in silence. They had their turn. Now it's heaven's turn. And guess what? You are on the list and your position is number 1. Stay ready, stay silent, stay powerful. You are not alone, you never were. Archangel Michael. This was your divine message. Watch it again if your heart is still shaking, because that's the truth breaking every lie ever spoken against you. Open this every time you forget how chosen you are. Your protection is not just prayer, it's personal, and heaven knows your name. This is your time. This is your confirmation. Now go and walk in the light that no one can take from you. And now that you're still here, still reading, still breathing under the weight of something you can't explain, let me tell you this. You were never meant to carry the shame, the confusion, or the burden that others placed on you. You were never meant to walk with your head down, wondering what went wrong, because the truth is, you did nothing wrong. You were chosen to break the chain, and they couldn't handle that. The very moment you started changing, evolving, becoming aware of your worth, the energy shifted in your favor, and it scared them. Because when someone finally realizes they're not who people said they were, when someone finally chooses healing over revenge, light over shadow, peace over pleasing, then heaven starts to move in ways the world cannot stop. That's why this investigation didn't go unnoticed. That's why the attempt to damage you has now exposed the people behind the mask. And I want you to hold on to this truth with everything inside you. They can no longer touch you. The old cycle is broken. The people who manipulated situations behind closed doors are now being watched by higher forces. Yes, even legal ones. You will begin to hear whispers of their fall, not because you wished it, but because God believes in justice, and He does not play when it comes to His chosen. And you, beloved, are deeply chosen. I know you've questioned why it's been so hard lately, why your energy crashes without warning, why certain people ghosted you without explanation, why someone you trusted acted like a stranger overnight. It was all part of the exposure. God was revealing hearts. Heaven was rearranging your circle, because the next season of your life cannot be shared with people who secretly hoped you'd fail. And now, because you stayed, because you kept going even with unanswered prayers, because you didn't lose your light when it got dark, heaven is going to reward you publicly, not just with one miracle, but with waves of it. You'll see it in your relationships, in your bank account, in your health, in your joy. A joy you haven't felt in years, a peace that won't need explanation. And when it comes, don't shrink yourself. Don't downplay your victory just because others chose not to clap for you. They had a choice. They had a season to love you right. They wasted it. But God is never late, and right now, the angels are preparing a table in front of your enemies, not to humiliate them, but to elevate you because your story is about to be told differently. The lies won't hold weight anymore. Your name is being cleared in the spirit, and soon it'll be cleared in the physical too. Contracts, letters, messages. You'll receive something official that proves everything they tried to hide. You'll look at it and remember this moment, and you'll cry, not because of pain, but because you'll finally feel seen. You'll finally understand why the delay was not denial. It was divine protection. You were being hidden in plain sight for a reason, shielded, preserved, prepared. And now heaven says you're ready. You're ready to walk into rooms that were once closed. You're ready to have conversations that once left you shaking. You're ready to love again, trust again, dream again, because everything the investigator tried to use against you has now become evidence of how resilient you are, how untouchable you are when heaven is your defense. So tonight, lay your head down knowing that the war over your life has shifted. You are not on trial anymore. You are the testimony. And the most beautiful part is this: you didn't need revenge. You just needed revelation. And now that it's here, now that you know the truth, promise me, promise God, you won't go back to small thinking, to over-explaining, to doubting your gift. You are more powerful than you were told, and now you've seen it for yourself. You are evidence of a miracle in motion. And as this miracle continues unfolding around you, even in the quiet moments when no one else sees what you're battling inside, I want you to remember this: your pain was not wasted. Every tear you cried alone, every night you sat with your thoughts spinning like a storm, every morning you forced yourself to rise again despite the weight on your chest, it was all seen. Not one moment escaped heaven's eyes. Not one ache was ignored. The reason you were being followed, observed, and even investigated by those in darkness was because your light disturbed their demons. Your presence was too pure for their agendas. You carried an energy that their lies couldn't survive around. And so, instead of becoming like them, you chose to keep your heart soft, your mind open, your words kind. And child, that made you a threat in the spiritual realm. You have no idea how many traps were set for you that never reached you because angels were assigned to block them. You have no idea how many people tried to gather information to twist your truth, but God confused their language. And now, with this message, He's removing the final layer of fog. You're going to see clearly who was with you, who was against you, and who was sent only to delay you. But don't panic when the faces are familiar. Don't be shocked when the names are ones you once loved. It's not betrayal, it's clarity. And with clarity comes power, the power to decide who gets access to the next version of you because this next chapter will be nothing like the last. This next chapter will feel like justice wrapped in joy. You'll notice how things begin to align without effort. You'll wake up with a strange sense of peace. You'll walk into spaces that once intimidated you and feel a new level of confidence, not because of pride, but because you'll finally recognize your divine authority. The same authority the enemy tried to steal by making you doubt yourself. The same authority people tried to bury under shame, gossip, and manipulation. But God says, no more hiding, no more shrinking, no more silence. Your voice is rising. Your gifts are awakening. Your time is now. And that private investigator, that was the last attempt to delay your breakthrough. That was the final alarm before your blessing is released. Heaven allowed it to be exposed not to scare you, but to confirm to you that your enemies can no longer operate in the shadows. Light is shining, and everything hidden is coming out. So don't be surprised when people suddenly start confessing. Don't be shocked if someone returns with the truth they've been withholding for years. They'll shake, they'll stutter, they'll tremble in your presence because they'll realize you were never just anyone. You were anointed, and when you're anointed, every plan formed against you backfires and becomes fuel for your elevation. So take this message seriously. Don't treat it like a scroll and forget moment. Let this soak into your soul. Let your body feel the protection that's covering you. Let your spirit rise again, because the version of you that's been hiding, dimming, doubting, and breaking, that version is gone. And in its place stands someone reborn with clarity, confidence, and a divine assignment that cannot be canceled. Not now, not ever. And as you sit here, heart racing, mind spinning, maybe even with tears rising in your eyes because something deep inside you knows this is true, let me speak to that place within you that's been holding on so tightly, afraid to hope again. You don't need to pretend to be okay anymore. You don't need to keep acting like you're unaffected, like the silence didn't hurt, like the betrayal didn't sting, like the delay didn't almost break you. Heaven saw every second you were on your knees, praying for answers that didn't come right away. But those answers are here now, and they are louder than the lies, louder than the fear, louder than the voice in your head that sometimes whispers, "You're not enough." You are more than enough, child. You are the reason this message was released today, not yesterday, not tomorrow, now, because spiritually something has shifted. A barrier has been broken. A new door has been unlocked, and your name is already written on it. Don't question how. Don't try to understand why someone would go to such lengths to investigate your life, to pay money to uncover your past, to dig through your silence, because the truth is, they couldn't stand the fact that you were healing without their help, that you were rising without their validation, that you were glowing in rooms they were never invited into. It confused them, it angered them, and so they watched. But God says they watched too long, and now they've been seen. The very people who tried to watch you secretly have now been exposed publicly in the spiritual realm. Their energy is no longer allowed near you. Their access has been revoked. And this message is your spiritual notice. You are free. Free from the invisible chains, free from emotional manipulation, free from every word curse spoken against your name. And not only free, but favored. The next time someone asks how you're doing, you won't fake a smile. You'll speak from a place of peace because soon your life will be so aligned, so protected, so radiant with divine flow that you'll forget what it felt like to doubt yourself. You'll walk through doors with confidence not rooted in ego but in truth. The truth that heaven backs you, that angels surround you, that Archangel Michael guards you, that the investigator who was hired to damage you only triggered a divine protection protocol that no human can override. And that protocol is now active. That's why you've been feeling things more intensely lately. That's why certain people fell off without warning. That's why you've been called to spend more time alone, not because you're broken, but because heaven has been recalibrating your frequency. You're not like everyone else, and you were never meant to blend in. That's why you've always felt a little different. Before I continue, my beloved child, allow me to pause, for there is a sacred secret I've kept just for you, and now is the moment I choose to reveal it. I bet $100 this manifestation technique works. Every week I coach 5 to 10 people who, no matter what, can't make the law of attraction work for them. 3 weeks ago, I wanted to prove a point to the group. I bet $100 with each one of them. The bet was simple. Try this extremely simple manifestation technique. If within 10 days you don't manifest at least 10 times that sum, $100 x 10 equals $1,000. You win. From 7 people who took the bet, 6 lost, meaning they manifested at least $1,000. $2 of them manifested over $4K. By the way, click the link in the description or comments section to unlock the secret. Here is the technique for you to try out. If you are wondering what happened with the 7th person, she dropped out for personal family reasons and never even tried the technique. My beloved child, now is the time to act. Step forward in faith. God bless you. That's why your presence shifts a room. Your silence makes people uncomfortable. Your truth stirs emotions in people who don't even understand why they're affected by you. Because you carry something ancient, something sacred, something divine. And now that you've made it this far without breaking, heaven is stepping in to restore everything they thought you lost with interest. The love you gave that wasn't returned. It's coming back multiplied. The time you spent helping people who left, God is returning it as divine connections that actually pour into you. The opportunities you missed because of delays and lies, they're being replaced by doors you never even knew existed. That is what's being released now. Not later, not when you're stronger. Now, because you've already proven you are strong enough. You've already walked through hell without becoming it. And now the fire in you is no longer for survival. It's for building, creating, expanding. You are entering your season of establishment, and no investigation, no past, no curse, no plan formed in secret will ever again stand in your way. This is your divine clearance, your spiritual green light, your confirmation. And if you felt this whole time like this message is speaking directly to you, it's because it is. Because it was written for your soul before you even knew you'd need it, before the investigator was caught, before the lies began forming, before the whispers started behind your back. Heaven already had a response prepared, and this message is it. You weren't meant to find this by accident. You were drawn here because a divine alert was triggered around you. Something that's been hidden from your eyes but not from your spirit. And even though you felt it in your body, those waves of sudden anxiety, those dreams that leave you waking up with a racing heart, those random memories from years ago surfacing, as if they're asking to be released. All of it has been part of the spiritual awakening that leads to your freedom. And now that the truth is surfacing, now that the layers are peeling back and revealing the faces behind the games, you must make a powerful choice. Not a choice of fear, not one of revenge, but a choice of alignment. Because the moment you accept that you are not who they tried to reduce you to, the moment you stop shrinking, stop dimming, stop second-guessing the voice inside you, your real timeline will accelerate. And I promise you, child, it's so much better than anything you've lost. What's coming next is not a repeat of the past. It's not a watered-down version of what broke you. It's not another test in disguise. It is real, divine, unstoppable. But it requires you to let go of the old narrative, the story where you're always the one abandoned, the one misunderstood, the one picked last. That chapter is over. The tables are turning, and you are no longer at the mercy of others' decisions. You are being positioned as the decision maker now. You are the one people will look to. You are the one who will hold the pen and rewrite what was once distorted. And that's why the enemy worked overtime trying to confuse you, delay you, isolate you. Because if you ever reached this level of awareness, this level of divine clarity, nothing could stop you. And now you're here. You've arrived. And even if it doesn't look like victory yet on the outside, trust me, it's already been secured in the spirit. That's why the investigator was caught. That's why this message was sent. That's why this exact moment was created. Because heaven needed you to know you are not alone, you are not forgotten, and your story is not ending in betrayal. It's evolving into revelation. So keep breathing, keep trusting, and above all, keep walking. You don't need to run. You don't need to chase. Everything meant for you is coming directly to you without force. It's attracted by your truth, pulled by your frequency, protected by your angels and ordained by God. And the next 48 hours will begin to show you proof that the pain had purpose, proof that the silence was sacred, proof that the wait was worth it. Heaven is sending signs, clear, direct, undeniable. You'll hear someone say a phrase you've been silently praying about. You'll get a message that validates your worth. You'll feel peace in your body where chaos used to live. And when that happens, smile. Not because you finally have control, but because you finally let go and allowed God to have His. You did it, child. You made it to the other side of the storm. And now the sky is clearing, the path is unfolding, and your name is being spoken in rooms where your spirit has already gone ahead to prepare the way. This is not a hope. This is a prophecy fulfilled, and you are living in its first chapter right now. And as this first chapter unfolds before your eyes, something sacred is happening inside you, even if you can't explain it yet. It's not just healing, it's remembering. You're remembering who you were before the disappointments, before the betrayals, before the delays. You're reconnecting to a version of yourself that still believed in goodness, that still trusted without fear, that still woke up every day expecting something beautiful to happen. And slowly that part of you is rising again, stronger, wiser, softer in all the right places, and tougher in all the right ways, because you're not naive anymore. You're not walking with blind hope. You're walking with divine discernment now. And that's what makes you unstoppable. That's what terrifies the ones who try to control your story. They thought they were writing the ending. They didn't know God was the true author. They didn't know that just as they were setting up traps, heaven was setting up your elevation. They didn't know that every room they gossiped in would one day echo with your name spoken in reverence, not ridicule. And now, child, that day is coming faster than you expect. That's why your body has been feeling it first. The racing heart, the restless sleep, the chills, the heaviness turning to lightness. Your soul already knows. Your soul has been celebrating for hours now, whispering, "Get ready, it's happening." Because the delay that used to haunt you is breaking off. The fear that wrapped around your potential like a fog is dissolving. And something new, something holy is taking its place. A fresh energy, a new rhythm, a divine alignment that no human can disrupt. Not the one who walked away, not the one who hired the investigator, not the one who lied and smiled in your face. They no longer matter because this new chapter was written without them. This chapter was written with your healing in mind, with your joy in mind, with your real love in mind. That's why I, Archangel Michael, have been waiting for hours just to tell you this, to get your attention long enough to remind you. You were always meant for more than just survival. You were meant for glory, for grace, for divine recognition. And from this moment forward, everything in your life will begin to reflect that truth. Doors will open where walls once stood. Eyes will see you clearly where before they only saw what they wanted. And hearts, the right hearts, will finally recognize the depth of your love, the strength of your spirit, and the beauty of your becoming. You don't owe the past an explanation. You don't owe the pain a place in your future. You don't owe your doubters anything. What you do owe is this: to yourself, to walk boldly, to speak kindly, to love deeply without apology, and to believe without flinching that you are finally, undeniably, gloriously in your divine season. Let them watch, let them wonder, let them ask how it all turned around so fast. And when they do, you'll smile, not out of pride, but out of peace, and you'll say, because heaven intervened, because I listened, because I finally believed in what was always meant for me. And when you say those words, when your voice finally carries the calm certainty of someone who has walked through fire and come out glowing instead of burnt, the entire universe will pause for a moment, not out of shock, but out of recognition. Because what is happening now is not just a change in your circumstances. It is a shift in your entire atmosphere. The energy around you is transforming. Things that once drained you will no longer have access to your spirit. People who once spoke over your destiny with confusion or jealousy will now fall silent, not because you've silenced them, but because your peace speaks louder. And you will begin to notice something so subtle, so divine, that you might even doubt it at first. Ease. Things that once felt like mountains will begin to move with just a whisper. Conversations that used to leave you feeling small will no longer affect your energy at all. And your smile, the one they tried to take from you, will return not as a mask, but as a reflection of your soul finally exhaling. This ease, this flow, this favor, it's not luck, it's not coincidence, it's not just because you stumbled onto the right path. It's because God redirected your steps even when you didn't understand the detour, even when you cried in the middle of the night asking, "Why is this happening to me?" He was rerouting you around destruction. He was clearing people from your life who were secretly delaying you. He was protecting you from the very things you begged to keep. And now you're beginning to see why it had to be this way. Now, with every breath, you're stepping into clarity that once felt unreachable. You're no longer explaining your value to people who never intended to understand it. You're no longer pouring into empty vessels, hoping they would overflow back into you. Instead, you're being filled with purpose, filled with strength, filled with the kind of love that doesn't ask you to shrink. The kind of love that expands with you, that grows when you grow, that celebrates your light instead of competing with it. And this isn't just romantic love, though that too, yes, is coming. And it's going to feel like everything you prayed for, but more. This is also love from the world around you, love from the path you're on, love from within. You're going to fall in love with your own life. You're going to look around at your reality and feel something you haven't felt in years. Safe. Not just physically safe, spiritually, emotionally, mentally safe, safe to dream again, safe to laugh without looking over your shoulder, safe to speak without filtering your truth, safe to just be. And when that moment comes, maybe it will be during a walk or when you're brushing your hair or in the silence after a long day. When it comes, don't brush it off. Close your eyes, breathe, and say, "Thank you, God, for never giving up on me, even when I gave up on myself." Because He didn't. He never did. Even when you doubted, even when you wandered, even when you questioned every single thing that ever happened to you, He was still there, guiding, protecting, loving, preparing. And now, because you stayed, because you listened, because you dared to keep going when you didn't feel strong enough, heaven is about to reward you in a way that silences every lie ever spoken about you. You're not just going to survive this. You're going to rise. You're going to glow. You're going to live a life so aligned with who you were created to be that people will stop you and say, "There's something different about you." And you'll smile, not because you've arrived, but because you've remembered who you are, and nothing will ever make you forget again. And when you remember who you are, when you truly see yourself again, not through the eyes of pain or through the filters of people who only saw fragments of you, but through divine vision, you'll begin to notice something incredible happening. You'll notice the atmosphere around you changing. You'll start walking into rooms and sensing peace instead of pressure. You'll look into the mirror and instead of pointing out flaws, you'll see a survivor, a warrior, a soul that didn't give up even when life tried to make you feel invisible. You'll start to feel at home within yourself. And that's the most powerful place a person can ever live from. Because when you're at peace with yourself, nothing outside of you can shake you. The words won't sting. The silence won't destroy you. The delays won't discourage you. You'll begin to recognize that your journey was not just about reaching a destination. It was about becoming someone who could carry the weight of the blessing that's now on its way. Because this blessing, child, it's not small. It's not temporary. It's not fragile. It's big, bold, loud, and unshakably yours. It's the kind of blessing that makes people who walked away wish they had stayed. The kind that doesn't just change your life, but changes your lineage. And this is why the enemy tried to distract you before you reached this moment. This is why people from your past resurfaced just when you were starting to find clarity. This is why you started feeling heavy again right before your breakthrough. Because resistance always shows up where restoration is about to begin. But you didn't fall for it this time. You paused, you prayed, you waited, you listened, you grew. And now, because you made it through what was meant to break you, you are about to receive what was always meant to find you. Now let me tell you something sacred. Something only heaven could reveal. That private investigator, the one who was caught, he didn't just carry information. He carried energy, spiritual residue from the ones who sent him. Energy of obsession, of envy, of manipulation. But what they didn't understand is that when you mess with a soul protected by angels, you don't just run into a wall, you run into divine fire. And that's what happened. He tried to deliver darkness into your life, but heaven interrupted it. Heaven protected the innocent. And now the darkness that was assigned to you has been sent back, reversed, canceled, consumed by the light. And every single word that was spoken against your future is being rewritten by the hand of God in real time. You'll feel it in the way peace starts to enter your mornings again. You'll notice it when random strangers treat you with unusual kindness. You'll recognize it when someone calls you just to say, "You've been on my heart." These are not small signs. These are confirmations that your timeline has shifted, that your story is no longer being influenced by people who don't know your worth, that your future is no longer delayed by people who thought they could slow you down from behind closed doors. Because the doors they closed, God is now opening windows no one can reach. And I want you to hold this in your heart. This is your season of divine restoration. What does that mean? It means everything that was taken without permission, everything that was stolen through lies, through manipulation, through spiritual attacks, through confusion. It's all coming back to you, but better. It's coming back clean, healed, multiplied, blessed. You're not getting the version of life you settled for. You're getting the one that was always meant for the healed you, not the hurting you. And that healed version is no longer a dream. It's real. It's happening now. And I know part of you wants to brace for disappointment because you've been let down so many times before. But I need you to hear me, child. This time is different because this time, heaven is involved. This time, you're not doing it alone. This time, you're moving in divine rhythm. And when heaven is involved, failure is not even an option. Delay is just direction. Pain is just preparation. Silence is just sacred space. And right now, in this very moment, your story is echoing in the ears of angels who are carrying blessings to you as we speak. So don't be surprised when your sleep suddenly becomes peaceful again, when your body starts healing without you knowing how, when you check your bank account and something unexpected appears, when someone from your past calls not to distract but to apologize. This is not just life turning around. This is divine reversal. This is the fruit of every tear you cried in silence, every night you wanted to give up but didn't, every time you spoke love when others gave you cruelty. God was watching it all, and He never forgets faithfulness. He never forgets loyalty. He never forgets hearts that stay soft in a hard world. And yours, beloved, has always been soft enough to carry heaven's messages. That's why you feel things deeply. That's why you sense when things are off even if you don't have proof. That's why people often tell you their secrets without knowing why they feel safe in your light. And now that your light is being fully activated, the world is about to see what only heaven always knew. You are a chosen one, not for fame, not for followers, but for purpose, for love, for healing, for truth, for divine impact that stretches far beyond your imagination. Now take a breath. Let it sink in. You didn't imagine this message. You didn't scroll here by chance. You were guided. This is your moment. Not tomorrow, not next month. Now, God is not waiting anymore. Heaven is not waiting anymore. You are ready now. You are ready to walk boldly, to speak truthfully, to love deeply again without fear of being hurt. Before I continue, my beloved child, allow me to pause, for there is a sacred secret I've kept just for you, and now is the moment I choose to reveal it. Download 77-letter wealth invocation prayer, recite, attract. Pope Francis, Pope Benedict XVI, Pope John Paul II, the Dalai Lama, Prince William, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, and you wouldn't believe who else. Go to this place to invoke miracles. This 2,000-year-old wall is known for its divine prowess. Just last year, the secret to its extraordinary strength was discovered. Hidden beneath its stones lies a 77-letter invocation prayer, the source of its power. Most importantly, it was revealed that daily recitation of this prayer becomes a magnetic force, attracting wealth, health, happiness, and limitless abundance. Click the link in the description or comments section to unlock the secret of download the 77-letter invocation prayer right here. Trust me, once you witness the undeniable proof, you'll recognize it as nothing short of a miracle. My beloved child, now is the time to act. Step forward in faith. God bless you. Because now you walk with angels. Now you speak with divine fire. Now you move with confidence not rooted in pride but in prophetic clarity. And I promise you this, your name is already written in rooms you haven't walked into yet. People are already speaking about your character in places that will offer you open doors. And those doors, they're about to open faster than you expect. So be ready, be still, be faithful, and above all, be yourself, because your real self, your soul-aligned self, your fully awakened self is exactly who the world needs now. And now that you're stepping into that knowing, that divine remembrance of who you are, I need you to prepare your heart for something you've silently hoped for but almost gave up on. True alignment. I'm talking about that moment when everything starts to make sense, when the people in your life start reflecting your growth instead of resisting it, when the work you do feels like purpose, not pressure, when your conversations feel safe instead of heavy. That's what's coming next, and it won't be loud at first. It won't always arrive in fireworks or grand reveals. Sometimes it'll look like a stranger smiling at you when you needed it most, or a song playing that says exactly what you needed to hear, or a message like this showing up exactly when you were beginning to wonder if you could keep going. Those moments are not random. That's how heaven moves. Subtle but undeniable, gentle but powerful. And when you start seeing these divine nudges show up more often, You'll know the spiritual interference around you has been broken. You'll know the investigator who was caught didn't just reveal secrets. He triggered a spiritual collapse in the camp of your enemies. And heaven is now using the very evidence they collected against you to restore everything they tried to steal. That's how deep this goes. That's how personal this is to God. He's not just watching, He's working. He's building something for you that will outlast this season, something that generations after you will benefit from. So when fear tries to creep in, when you feel that old whisper trying to convince you that maybe this is too good to be true, pause, breathe, and remember. You've already been through the fire. What's ahead of you now is the fruit, the sweetness, the overflow. And it's not just for you. It's for the version of you that stayed kind in the face of betrayal, that held on to hope when everything said let go, that believed in love even when love left without warning. This blessing is your reward, not because you earned it, but because you never stopped believing it was possible, even on your hardest days, even through the silence. Your spirit whispered, "There has to be more than this." And heaven heard that whisper like a roar. That's why the investigator was stopped. That's why the plans made in the dark were exposed. That's why the truth is rising and the lies are falling apart. Because when God says enough, everything must obey. And now that the interference is gone, the path is clearing. You'll start to see it in the most beautiful ways. Unexpected favor, random breakthroughs, connections that feel like home, answers to prayers you forgot you prayed. Because heaven doesn't forget. God doesn't forget. And everything you thought was ignored was actually stored in heaven's vault, waiting for the perfect moment. And now, beloved, that moment is here. You may feel emotional reading this. That's not weakness. That's recognition. That's your soul remembering what your mind had forgotten. That you are a miracle in motion. That even in your lowest valley, you were walking beside angels. That even when your voice trembled, your faith was steady. That's why this breakthrough is not just material. It's spiritual, it's internal, it's eternal. And it will last not because the world is finally giving you what you deserve, but because God has finally cleared the way for what was already yours. No more blocks, no more pretending, no more watering yourself down to be accepted. From here forward, your light will shine without apology. Your truth will be honored without resistance. Your name will be spoken with honor, not rumor. Your presence will bring peace into rooms that once felt like war zones because you are not the same. You've transformed, you've grown. You've become exactly who you needed when you were hurting. And now the world is ready to meet the healed, whole, holy version of you. So stay grounded, stay grateful, stay aligned, not with noise, but with peace, not with reaction, but with discernment. Because this season will not require chasing. It will only require receiving. And that, child, is your greatest challenge. To receive what is finally arriving, to not sabotage it by overthinking, to not question your worth when goodness knocks on your door, to not walk away from love just because love used to hurt. What's coming now is not like what was. What's coming now is divinely designed for the new you, the healed you, the you that isn't perfect but is perfectly aligned with heaven's heartbeat. And because you are aligned, blessings will flow freely. You won't need to fight for attention anymore. The right people will notice your spirit. The right doors will open on their own. And your name will echo in the hearts of those who are meant to be part of your future. That's what happens when you live in truth. That's what happens when heaven decides it's your time. And I, Archangel Michael, am not leaving your side through this. I was there when the enemy formed weapons against you. I was there when you sat in silence asking why people hurt you when all you gave was love. I was there when you lay awake in bed, staring at the ceiling, wondering if you were crazy for believing in something bigger. And I'm here now to tell you, child, you were never crazy. You were always chosen. And everything that was meant to destroy you has now become part of your testimony. A story you will tell not with pain but with power. A story that will free others. A story that will remind you even years from now that this moment changed everything. This wasn't just a warning, this was a spiritual turning point. And now the wheel has turned in your favor. The light has found you again. The truth has wrapped around your soul. And what's next is not just restoration. It's redemption, it's recognition, it's reward. And now that you're receiving this, now that you've let these words find their way into the sacred places of your heart that few ever get to see, I want you to know something that the world could never teach you. Your sensitivity is not a flaw. It is your spiritual gift. You feel deeply because your soul is deeply connected to heaven. You love fully because you were designed to heal others just by being in their presence. And yes, that's why so many tried to take from you. That's why people came into your life with masks, pretending to love you while secretly envying your light. That's why you've been through more than most people could handle. But despite it all, you never stopped shining. You never stopped hoping. You never stopped holding space for others even when you felt empty yourself. And heaven sees that. Heaven honors that. And now heaven is repaying that, not with temporary blessings, but with eternal favor. The kind of favor that will follow your name. The kind of favor that will go before you into rooms and shift the atmosphere. You'll begin to feel it even in small ways. People treating you better without knowing why, strangers offering help, divine delays protecting you from things you didn't see, your prayers being answered faster than usual. That's not luck. That's spiritual authority finally becoming active in your life. And I need you to understand this too. You don't have to do anything to earn this. You already did by surviving, by choosing light when darkness surrounded you, by choosing faith over fear even when your hands were shaking. This isn't a reward for perfection. This is a promise being fulfilled, a promise that was whispered over your soul the moment you were born, a promise that said, "This one will not be ordinary. This one will carry light." And you have, through pain, through heartbreak, through rejection, through betrayal, you kept carrying it. And now the world is about to reflect back to you everything you've carried within. The kindness, the grace, the beauty, the truth. All of it is returning to you tenfold, because what was taken from you doesn't belong to your past anymore. It belongs to your future, where it will be restored in ways you can't even imagine. The very thing they tried to steal will be placed back in your hands but multiplied. And the people who tried to block your path, they'll have no choice but to watch you walk into your destiny unapologetically. And you won't have to defend it. You won't have to prove anything, because your life will speak louder than any lie ever told about you. Your peace will be your answer. Your joy will be your justice. Your stability will be your loudest miracle. You'll be so rooted in truth that chaos won't even recognize how to reach you anymore. And I want you to promise me, child, promise me you'll protect this next version of yourself, that you'll no longer lower your voice just to make others comfortable, that you'll no longer ignore your intuition just to keep the peace, that you'll no longer overextend your heart just to prove you're worthy of being loved. You are already worthy, already enough, already chosen. And anyone who cannot see that, anyone who needs you to perform or pretend or shrink, they do not belong in your future. This new version of you only has space for truth, for love that is clean, for peace that is mutual, for connections that feel like alignment, not attachment. You're not just building a new life. You're stepping into the life heaven has been building for you all along. That's why things had to fall apart. That's why certain people had to walk away. That's why the investigator was caught, because God had to clear the path. You couldn't take what's next if you were still carrying what almost destroyed you. You couldn't receive this level of favor if you were still tied to people who only came to distract. And now that it's clear, truly clear, you'll notice how fast things start to shift. Your energy will return, your clarity will sharpen, your creativity will expand, because you're finally operating without interference, finally breathing without burden, finally rising without resistance. And child, when I say rise, I mean it in the deepest way. Not just success, not just recognition, but soul rise. A rising that makes peace your default, a rising that makes joy your strength, a rising that makes love your home. And I promise you, nothing can take that away. Not even the ones who tried to ruin it all before it began. Because the same heaven that watched them try to destroy you is now preparing a table in front of them for you. And when you sit at that table, when you finally taste the peace that once seemed impossible, I want you to sit with grace, not bitterness, not revenge. Because your blessing is not about proving them wrong. It's about proving that love always wins, that light always finds a way, that God always shows up, even if he's quiet at first. He showed up for you. He sent this message through me, Archangel Michael, not because you needed another video or post to scroll past, but because heaven knew you'd need to hear this right now. Because your breakthrough is so close, the enemy is panicking. That's why the attacks felt stronger lately. That's why your emotions have been heavier, because what's coming is so big, even the darkness tried to stop it one last time, but it failed. And now the only thing left to do is receive. Receive the blessings, receive the answers, receive the new path, and walk forward without guilt. You are not selfish for choosing yourself. You are not arrogant for protecting your peace. You are not wrong for demanding love that doesn't hurt. You are finally becoming who God created you to be. And the world is ready, heaven is ready, and now you are too. And now that you've made it this far, now that you've allowed every word to reach the deepest layers of your soul, the parts that were quiet for too long, the parts that have been waiting for this moment, you need to know this is not the end of a message. It's the beginning of something new, something sacred, something lasting. Because once the truth enters your spirit like this, it never leaves. It becomes part of you. You carry it in your eyes, in your voice, in the way you walk into a room. And from this moment on, people will notice. They may not understand what shifted, but they'll feel it. They'll feel your spirit no longer bending for things that broke you. They'll feel the protection around you, the kind of peace that cannot be explained but only felt. Because what's wrapped around you now isn't just awareness. It's divine presence, my presence, heaven's presence. And child, that kind of presence makes demons tremble. It makes envy silent. It makes plans fall apart that were built to trap you. And it attracts what is real. True love, aligned opportunity, safe people, doors that no one can shut. So I need you to move differently now, not in fear, not in caution, but in powerful peace. Walk slower but more purposefully. Speak less but more truthfully. Listen to your intuition because it is no longer fogged by fear or confusion. You are connected now, directly, clearly to the divine, and nothing can interrupt that unless you give it permission. So don't just protect your peace like a crown. Guard your joy like treasure and speak your truth like the sword that it is. Because you will need it, not for battle but for boundaries, not for war but for wisdom. And you'll have it. The wisdom, the clarity, the voice that doesn't tremble anymore. Because from now on, you're not reacting, you're choosing. You're not proving, you're embodying. You're not surviving, you're rising. And every choice you make from this new alignment will shape a future so beautiful, so full of light, that even your past will bow to it. Let me tell you something that will anchor you when the world still tries to shake you. They tried to stop you because they saw what was coming. They saw your light waking up. They saw your potential becoming unstoppable. They saw the way people responded to your presence. And they knew if you ever found out how powerful you are, They couldn't control you anymore. And now you know. Now it's too late for them. Now you've crossed over into truth. And it's not just your life that will change because of it. It's everyone connected to you. Your healing will become contagious. Your peace will awaken others. Your words will reach hearts that thought they were too far gone. And your story, the one they tried to erase, will become the reason someone else survives. That is your power, that is your gift, that is your anointing. And it cannot be stolen, it cannot be copied, it cannot be undone. And yes, you will be tested again. The enemy never stops trying. But you will never fall like you did before, because now you have the memory of this moment, this message, this truth. You will remember how it felt when your spirit was spoken to with love, when God reached out through words and wrapped himself around your pain, when the heavens stood still just to let you know you matter. You are seen, you are chosen. And you are never, ever walking this road alone. Even on the days when it feels quiet, even when the sky looks still, Archangel Michael, I'm right there beside you, shield raised, sword drawn, wings spread wide to cover your house, your mind, your dreams, your future. I have been assigned to you not for a moment, not for a miracle, but for the long journey, and I will never leave your side. And now, as this message closes, I want you to breathe with me. Breathe in this truth. I am protected. I am loved. I am ready. Say it again, out loud this time. I am protected. I am loved. I am ready. Let your body feel it. Let your mind accept it. Let your soul return to it any time life tries to make you forget. You've been through enough forgetting, enough hiding, enough shrinking. Now is the time to expand, to rise, to become the version of yourself that heaven always knew you were. This is your time. This is your signal. This is your confirmation. And if your heart is still trembling as you read this, that's not fear, that's release. That's the chains breaking off for the final time. That's the old energy falling away. That's the past losing its grip. That's your future stepping in. So walk forward now with courage, with faith, with fire. The world needs the real you, the healed you, the lit up you that doesn't second guess the miracle you are. This is not a warning anymore. It's a wake-up call to your greatness. Now go. Love, create, speak, shine, lead, rest, be. Because heaven is backing every single step you take. And your name, yes, your name, is written on the victory that's already been signed and sealed. You're ready, you're covered, you're chosen. And the future is waiting to welcome you home. This message ends here, but your new beginning starts right now, with divine authority and eternal protection. Archangel Michael, if you felt this in your soul, don't forget this is not just a message. It's a moment between heaven and you. Save it, repeat it, live it. Before I continue, my beloved child, allow me to pause, for there is a sacred secret I've kept just for you. And now is the moment I choose to reveal it. Our Lord meant this for you. Have you ever felt a pull towards something greater? a path uniquely crafted just for you by a higher power. Today, you're exactly where you need to be to make a life-altering decision. The 77-letter invocation prayer isn't just a prayer. It's a divine invitation to unlock the doors of wealth, health, and true happiness. Thousands have already embarked on this journey, finding incredible success and fulfillment. Don't let doubt keep you from your destiny. Embrace the opportunity to transform your life with this powerful prayer. Trust in the path laid out for you. It's time to prosper. Click the link in the description or comments section to unlock the secret of. Go here to get your copy of the 77-letter invocation prayer. My beloved child, now is the time to act. Step forward in faith. God bless you.